Y'all, it's Crafty Hope here, and welcome. Today I am working on ICAD number 23. No, you did not miss number 22. It was ugly. I'm not going to share it, and that's all I got to say about that. I've decided I don't need to share the ones that nobody needs to see. So it's on Instagram if you absolutely think you need to see it. But we're going to move on here to number 22. ICAD stands for Index Card a Day, and I'm using both prompts for today. The Daisy Yellow prompt is Margarita, and the Mixed Media ICAD prompt is Tape. So I am using, you'll see it in a minute, but I think I just showed it actually. It's some Deco Arts Americana paint in the color Margarita. And then for tape, I have a plethora of washi tape, so I just pulled out a few, and they're going to go into this card. And they added some really great texture. So as always, I am starting this with some collage with papers that are just from my stash and my Uhu glue stick. And I'm just going to stick these down. I think I'm sticking with just some book papers, or I don't even know. Just sticking some things down. If you want information about ICAD, I've got it below along with some links. And but I'm always welcome. I always welcome any questions you may have. I will be happy to answer them for you if you're not clear on what's going on here. So I think that's all of the papers I am going to glue down. And those added some really great texture. And so I'm going to start with that's some tissue tape. I adore tissue tape when I can get it to work. I like that for the most part it is thin and fairly transparent. So I'm going to stick that down. It doesn't add a whole lot of texture on the page. It does give, this one especially since it is so bold, does give a little bit of a bold statement. And actually that may be all I'm using is the tissue tape. Yeah, because this is also tissue tape, and it doesn't add anything other than a little bit of texture on here because you don't really see the subtle lines of this pattern as much as you do with the bold statement ones. So there, that is one of my prompts. I've pulled out a graphite stick. It is water soluble. It's like the Lyra ones, but this is my cheap dollar store one I found many years ago before I knew what the Lyra ones were. And I just put a scribble straight across the page, and I'm going to add a few more on here just to cover up some of the lighter spots that I wasn't digging. All right, from there, what am I going to do? I don't know. I'm thinking about it apparently. I've decided to go ahead and pull out this Margarita acrylic paint. Like I said, it's a Deco Arts Americana. And I'm using a paintbrush and just kind of scribbling this color on. Yeah, I love this color. It's just such a bright, beautiful shade of green. And if you notice, I didn't even bother squirting this out or anything. My jam is to take the cap from a bottle of paint and I do it with like Mod Podge too, and just use what's in the cap. That way I feel like I'm not wasting anything because I am thrifty, y'all, to a fault. This is, I believe it's cotton candy. It's also Deco Arts Americana paint, and I am just adding a little bit in. I don't know what compelled me to combine that lime green and this soft pale pink, but I think it works. When this card comes together, it's really kind of dreamy and pretty with that Margarita really standing out against this softer shade. All right, you can see that bowl of fabric there. It is a fabric ribbon. I'll get to it in a minute. I'll go ahead and tell you what I'm doing here is taking my Stabilo all pencil in black and just putting some little marks inside the Margarita parts of the paint or parts of the card. Yeah, just to give that a little more reason to stand out and a little more contrast on that Margarita. Okay, so that fabric ribbon is from Paper Cats on Etsy. Cats is with a Z. I will try to remember to put a link to her below, but she's got some really beautiful things in her shop and has these cotton dyed cotton fabric ribbon, and it is a ton of ribbon for a really great price. So somebody on Instagram mentioned her, and I went and found her. It's her and her son, who is autism, and he actually tears the fabric. And y'all, I used to work with in a facility with autistic individuals, and so this is near and dear to my heart. So I encourage you to go check her shop out and find some pretty things. All right, before I get to that fabric, I am I've got my white Liquitex acrylic ink. Oh my gosh, I don't know why that was so hard to get out. And my fan brush. I love using a fan brush for splatter. It works almost exactly how I want it to every time. I splattered down that ink and I dried it, and I've pulled out these chipboard quotes from Tim Holtz, and I've got the one that says collect beautiful moments. If it had been in a journal, I probably would have torn the back off to reduce the thickness of it, but I decided I didn't mind since it's on this ICAD. So I do darken up the edges with some black soot distress oxide just because I wasn't digging the color of the exposed chipboard on the sides. So, and because distress oxide does say wet for a while, it did get everywhere because I'm messy. So I'm going to use a little bit of water to try to get some of it off there. I don't do entirely because I have it all over my fingers. I'm such a messy maker. Okay, I'm finally going to pull out this gorgeous ribbon and trim it down to just what I need so I don't waste it either. I am trying to tear it so I get that beautiful frayed edge. And I'm going to use my matte gel medium from Liquitex to glue everything down. What am I going to do first? I'm going to spread that. I'm using a palette knife. That's been my jam lately. I used to use paintbrushes on the matte gel medium, but I wasn't getting quite enough on things for it to stick down. And ever since I switched to just using my palette knife, y'all, game changer. Seriously, it's I get enough on there that most everything sticks down without having to lift things up and try to put more matte gel down. So I do get a little bit too much. You'll see here in just a second. I'm going to take a little bamboo skewer to pick up some of the excess that did come out. I'm going to ink the edges here with my black soot. I was trying to avoid the fabric too. I didn't want it to get too messy. And then I'm going to clean up. Yep. You see how that all like oozed out? All right, I'm going to pick that up and I am done with this card. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to ask me any questions if you have any. Thanks for watching. Keep on crafting on. Bye.